Hi everyone, my name is Justin Booth, and today I'll be reflecting on motivated reasoning, personal bias, and how the evidence-based practice process has shaped the way I approach information. First, let's define motivated reasoning. It is when we unconsciously search for, interpret, or even remember information in a way that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. Instead of being neutral, we bend the evidence to fit what we already want to believe. A personal example for me is when I start going to the gym, I want to believe that protein shakes were absolutely essential for muscle growth. So I mostly search for YouTube videos and articles that confirm that belief. I ignored or dismissed information suggesting the whole food could provide the same benefits. Looking back, this was a clear case of confirmation bias guiding my motivated reasoning. From a subject content perspective, motivated reasoning can creep into clinical decision making. For instance, if a podiatrist strongly believes that orthodontics are always the best treatment for foot pain, they are unconsciously seeking out studies that support that view. While downplaying evidence about exercise-based interventions, this shows how dangerous motivated reasoning can be in health if it isn't recognized. Now, this is the real question. How can we avoid these traps? That's where the 5 steps of evidence-based practice comes in. They are ask, acquire, appraise, apply, assess. Step 1 is asked. I've learned to formulate clear structures questions instead of vague ones. In the protein shake example, instead of asking, do protein shakes build muscle? I reframe it using PICO. For young adults who exercise regularly, does protein powder supplementation, compare the whole food protein sources, lead to greater muscle growth? This structured thinking helped me challenge my initial bias and frame the problem in an evidence-focused way. Step 2 is acquire. This is where my evidence literacy skills come in. Before I would just Google or rely on social media influences, now I use databases like Sinal and filter by peer-reviewed studies. I've also learned to identify different types of research like RCT and systematic reviews, which are more reliable than these sources. These steps really help me step outside my echo chamber of motivated reasoning. Step 3. Appraise. This is where thinking skills like critical appraisal are essential. I know how to look at these methods, sample size, databases, and level of evidence in a study, rather than just reading the abstract. For example, I found a small industry-funded study saying protein shakes work better, but I recognize the conflict of interest are limited. That made me more cautious in accepting its finding. Step 4 is apply. This is about integrating the best available evidence with personal values and practical context. In my personal case, I realized I didn't need to spend so much money on supplements and instead focus on balancing my diet. In a clinical context, this means considering patients' preferences and lifestyle, not just blindly following research. These steps highlight the importance of avoiding bias because patients' care should be evidence-informed and provider belief-driven. Step 5 is assess. This is where metacognition plays the biggest role. I now reflect on my own reasoning process, and I'm only reading studies that agree with me. Am I dismissing contradictory evidence too quickly? By asking myself these questions, I can monitor my own thinking patterns, notice my biases, and adjust accordingly. Metacognition and bias awareness. Throughout this process, I've learned to recognize the metacognition, the ability thinking about my own thinking. Isn't this an abstract skill? It's essential by recognizing motivated reasoning and confirmation bias in myself. I am able to reduce their influence and improve the quality of decision I make. To keep this presentation engaging, I want you to reflect for a moment on your own habits. Think, think about the last time you Googled a health question. Did you click on the link that supported what already believed? Or did you generally consider opposing evidence? Most of us fall into the first trap, and that's why we exactly recognizing motivated reasoning is so important. In conclusion, motivated reasoning is powerful because it feels so natural, but it can cloud our judgment and can lead us away from the truth. By using the 5 steps of evidence based practices, combined with evidence literacy and metacognition, I've learned to challenge my biases and make more balanced decisions. Whether it's about protein shakes or future patient care, being aware of my thinking process is a key to improving outcomes. Thank you for your attention.